Traveling this bending road is always an adventure, and I'm glad we can do it together. It's easier together because no matter where we go in life, two things are for certain. One, you will eventually come to a bend in your road, and two, God will always see you through. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and click the subscribe button so that you know when I upload my next video. In this way, we travel together and we encourage each other along the way. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the Bending Road. Glad you could be with me today. It's a chilly morning in our little cabin this morning, and thankful for a warm hoodie and way to get warm. Had a hot cup of coffee earlier, and it was just wonderful. After we got done having breakfast and we were cleaning up, and I did some things out of habit. I swept out the cabin. Now, if you remember, we were living in a 12 by 20 refinished shed. And so outside the door is this gravel area. We had to put down gravel, and there's no walkway. And when we go out, we walk in the grass in some areas, and we just cut some grass the other day, so it's messy, and all that comes in, and the gravel comes in, and the mud comes in, and so pretty much every day I sweep out the cabin. The other thing that I did was I went out and I took care of the compost bucket. We have a bucket out there that we put all of our food scraps in, and then every day I walk it down to the compost pile and I dump it in the pile. The other thing I do is I clean out the fireplace. We have a fireplace outside. It doesn't do much for heating the cabin inside, but it's nice to sit by the fire, and I often will have a fire if it's warm enough at breakfast time, but always in the evening for dinner we put a fire in the fireplace, and so what I do in the morning is clean out the ashes from the previous day and take those down and dump them. Sweeping the floor, emptying the compost, remembering to clean up the coffee maker and take care of the ashes, and all of that stuff really got me thinking that since we've been here, and we're I don't know, I've lost track, 7-8 weeks, don't remember, that we've been here, actually longer than that if you count our whole renewal leave. So we've been here at least 2.5 months. I've developed a habit, and without even thinking about it, I do things like sweep, dump the compost, dump the ashes, I refill water jugs, and I do those things kind of by rote now, and it makes me think about cleaning out yesterday's mess, replenishing our water, replenishing what we used yesterday, and just that idea of starting the day fresh. Now, I will be honest, there are days where I don't get it done. And then I grumble about the mess on the floor, or I grumble that we don't have any water, or the compost bucket is full, or whatever. But all of that got me thinking about cleaning out our spirit every day. Looking back at our day and asking ourselves, where do I need to make amends? Where might I have hurt somebody? Knowingly or not, where might I need to do that? Is somebody upset with me? And whether I understand it or not, I need to make sure I make amends for that where I can. Kind of reminds me of the AA program and making amends there. And it reminds me of when I had my heart episode, my cardiac episode. Dave and I knew that we needed from that point on to keep very short accounts to make sure that we were dealing with things that were upsetting quickly. All of that made me look at several different passages of scripture, which usually does. So I was looking at Proverbs 14:9, and it says, "Fools mock at making amends for sin." Our society really does, right? It's not my fault. I had a very good reason. Don't judge me. That sort of thing. Fools mock at making amends for sin, but goodwill, acceptance, approval is found among the upright. The upright need to make amends for sin. That kind of threw me to the Beatitudes. Dave and I have been talking a lot about the Beatitudes. He's doing a study on the Beatitudes in the Sermon on the Mount. And so we've been talking a lot about that. And the whole idea of being poor in spirit, knowing that we need God above all, mourning our sin, being meek and humble, being merciful, pure in heart, being a peacemaker. All of that means that we need to be keeping these short accounts, that we need to be cleaning out anything that did not go well yesterday, anything we need to make amends with somebody or make amends with God, seek forgiveness, replenish our spirits, what we might have used up the previous day. And that all made me think of Matthew 5:23 through 25a, which says, therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, and there remember that your brother or sister has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to them, then come and offer your gift. Settle matters quickly with your adversary. That verse has always kind of struck me because it says that if we remember that our brother or sister has something against us, then we need to go settle matters. We need to make amends before worship, before our act of worship, our giving of our gifts at the altar. We live in a world where if someone has something against me, well, that's their problem, right? That's not my problem. That's their problem. And it makes me think back to Proverbs 14. Fools mock at making amends for sin. And what this does, what Matthew does, what Jesus' words say is that if someone is upset with me, that's my problem. As a Christian, as a follower of Christ, that's my problem. And I need to make that right even before I go to worship. And sometimes we think, that worshiping God is important above all, and it is important above every other life thing that comes our way. But we need to make amends first. That's most important. So as I'm sweeping out the house, as I'm dumping the compost bucket, as I'm cleaning out the ashes from the fireplace and refilling our water jugs for another day, I hope I'm also cleaning out my spirit, considering who is it that I need to make amends with? Who is it maybe that I need to say, I was hurt by what happened yesterday, and I forgive you? Who is it that I need to talk to, make things right? I don't want to be a fool. I don't want to mock making amends for sin. I want that to be a high priority. And I want to, as Matthew says, settle matters quickly. Don't let them explode. And what he goes on to talk about is people who take each other to court. On your way to court, settle these matters quickly. So when it really explodes, when this little matter explodes into a court process. So before our little matters become big matters, settle these matters. I know that I need to be reminded of this. I can let things fester. I don't know if it's a personality thing, and I don't hold grudges for long. I don't think I move to forgiveness rather quickly, but I don't always let people know that. If somebody's upset with me, I don't always make that right quickly. right? Because that means we have to admit that we did something wrong. Not easy, not easy. But along this bending road, we meet all kinds of people, and sometimes our biggest bends in the road come from somebody else's actions or sin issues, or our own sin issues that we did to somebody else. They involve other people. So I want to encourage us today to every day, sweep out our house, dump that compost bucket, get rid of the ashes, refill our water jugs, reset our coffee makers. However you need to say that, to remember that every day, quickly, we need to make things right and not carry that stuff throughout our day. Next week, I will be coming to you from our new home, and I'll be excited to see what my backdrop is. I'm going to kind of miss this place to some extent, but it's still here. We'll be able to come back and visit often, and we've got some clean out to do. Live in a place for almost 3 months, and you have a lot of cleanup to do. So we've got to be back here on the weekends to take care of some stuff. But I will be recording from my new setting, and I look forward to seeing you then along the bending road. Have a good week. Thank you for watching, and thank you for working together along this journey. Connect with me on social media or on my website at bendingroad.weebly.com. Let me know how I can pray for you as you navigate the bend in your road. I pray that when you see the bend in your road, you will not be afraid, but will take the hand of God and keep walking. You are not alone.